3, 2, 1, let's crack on. Today we're doing the Round Evesham walk as a trail run. I'm walking at the moment because there's cows over there and I'm not convinced we're partitioned. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm going to take it nice and easy. Selling the route already, aren't I? I've never seen them in this field before, but yeah, so Round Evesham walk. It's about 7k. I'll put the stats up at the end. Starts at the top of Green Hill, really nice area, and it does a complete loop of the area. Yeah, so they're not partitioned. So, are they cows? It's going to sound really stupid, because I'm fairly sure they're cows. So stupid. I'm out of the field of cows. So, as I said, Round Evesham walk, 7k from the top of Green Hill. Starts off downhill, and then you've got to make that back up again. So, whichever way you do it, you're ending on a hill. But whichever way you do it, it's a historical hill. I end on the northern side of Evesham, which has got the battlefield. 1265 Simon de Montfort was killed, and every August, not this August, but every August that's recreated in the Evesham Battle Festival. Totally recommend it. It's not something I'd normally be interested in, but totally would recommend it. But what's nice about this run, or walk as I'm doing now, let's get a bit of a jog on. So what's nice about this run is that you see everything. You go from where I am now, which is nice and along the river with virtually nothing around, to the hustle and bustle of the town centre, and then back along the river. You basically follow the river all the way around, and you do a complete circle of the town. So it's a really nice route. So that last shot there, I must have been running all over the place, because the terrain you really need to focus on. But anyway, so we're about 2k in now, coming up to the first sort of area of town. Again, the whole route is signposted very nicely. We're coming to the first sort of area of town. We're going to come past the bridge, which goes all the way to Paddington. Again, oh, sorry, focusing on where I'm going. I don't know why, it's quite sad, but one of my favourite parts of the route is this little bit coming up here. So maybe it's because I feel like I'm properly off-road, because you come up and there's this like marshy little bit, and you run along this little rickety bridge. I don't know, maybe it's sad, but I like it. It's generally quite a well kept path. There's a couple of bits where you have to sort of tiptoe through stinging nettles, but really not that much. Generally, it's a really well kept path. I noticed that every time I run it, it's just been trimmed back just that little bit more. So, we're under the train tracks now, coming up to the marina. might be interesting to someone, probably not. I'm wearing the Nike Cody Hudson ensemble to this evening. It's basically polka dot. I decided not to go for the shoes or hat because I thought that might look silly, but footwear, most interestingly, I haven't gone for my trail shoes. I'm wearing my favourite shoes at the moment, the Nike New Balance 1080 V10s. It's just the best shoe at the moment. I'm carrying a bit of a hip injury, so they're a bit more forgiving than the trail shoes. They're a lot more forgiving than the trail shoes. So yeah, I've got them on at the moment. It's just a great shoe. Like I said, they're my favourite non-carbon shoe at the moment. Obviously, I really want to try the New Balance Fuel Cell TC and the Nike Alpha Fly Next Percent, but whilst there's no races, it seems a bit of a waste to be spending 200 odd quid. But these New Balance 1080 V10s are an absolute steal at the price. £135, I think. Yeah, great buy. Right, so the first section's done. So you run down the river, past town, and then back join onto the river. So back to a bit of civilization, other than the walkers that I just saw. Socially distanced, of course. Back in the park now, brief detour through town. Now, I never realised until I was researching this evening, I've been doing the Round Evesham Loop all wrong. I actually have to go up this massive hill, which is just on my right, and takes you through a bit of the sights of town, so it's not going to be that fun, but let's have a go, see if we can sprint up it. So we're at the Evesham Abbey now, one of the oldest abbeys in Europe. I don't know if you'll get some scale, but it is absolutely massive. Who'd have thought that quarter to seven was the time you'd get the chimes? Anyway, let's carry back on. So, like I said, one of the oldest abbeys in Europe, or at least according to Wikipedia. But the Round Evesham Loop takes a bit of a detour. Rather than just following the river, you end up going past something called the Almonry, which is the Evesham Museum. Really cool place, really cool. So let's go and find the Almonry. So here we are at the Almonry, closed at the moment obviously due to coronavirus, but we just slow down a minute. It is absolutely beautiful. I'd love to be able to tell you what year it was. In fact, I'll try and put it up on the screen, but it's an absolute beauty. Yeah, if you're ever in the area, definitely worth a visit, 100%. So, tempted to take a little bit of a detour. Might be a controversial move, considering I'm taking you on a tour of a very specific route, but it's one particular area my wife really loves. So let's go and have a look. So these are the Christmas trees. Kim loves this because all year round you've got Christmas trees as far as the eye can see. while we rejoin the path. Who am I? So I'm Dan, been running for 3 years now, currently knocking on the door of my first sub 25k, 20:04 and 42:30 in the 10k, half marathon 1:39 and marathon 4:25. So this year's training cycle absolutely worked my arse off. Like I said it twice now, so absolutely worked my arse off, and all the races got cancelled, so I was going for that sub 20 5k, sub 42 10k. I've got to jump the railing here. Whoa. So what next? Well, keeping the training going all throughout the year. I might be doing Manchester in October, who knows, but pushed my effort now. I'm going for sub 3:30 marathon and sub 1:30 half. That's hard work. That'll be the pace that my 10k PB's at, but you got a dream, so let's see what happens. Alright, coming up now is the Hampton ferry. Well, you could be walking then. Coming now is the Hampton ferry, which is one of the oldest still working chain ferries in the country. So it takes you from Evesham over to Hampton. Still following the Evesham round walk. So yeah, right by me, Raphael's restaurant. Always good after the park run. I believe Robert Raphael, one of the councillors, owns all this land and the restaurant obviously, and lets us all do the park run, so thank you very much. So now we've got about a kilometre stretch across a cricket pitch. Is it a pitch? I think it's a pitch. Under some trees. And then get to the side of the battlefield. So one of the things that's occurred, apart from the fact that you can't see me, is that because I'm wearing my good shoes, not wearing my trail shoes, I'm trying to change up my foot stance. I'm landing really high up on my toes, which is probably equally just as bad for my foot strike. Hadn't thought of that. I'm trying to correct it, but never mind. There's a bit coming up with a rope swing under a bridge. Every time I run past it, I really want to do it. Now I've got a camera, there's no one there of course, I might give it a go. So let's have a look. So again, ground's not amazing to run on this patch, but let's have a look. What we've got, a little boat coming across. We weren't quite as lucky getting that one as we were getting the bell striking, so let's have a look. I kind of hope there's no one here so I can go on the rope swing, and hope the rope swing's still here. Oh, blimey. It's looking good. Right, so there's no one here, but there is no rope swing, ladies and gentlemen. The rope swing is gone. Well, who knows, maybe that was a blessing in disguise. Right, last bit before the battlefield, running through the orchard. Well, at the moment it feels like I'm running through stinging nettles. Ignore that, that was a fly in my mouth. This has been quite eventful. as much as my pace and distance is absolutely knackered, it's been quite fun. I doubt anyone will ever watch this, but I might. I realised I was lying. There's actually 2 hills if you go clockwise. There's 2 hills if you go clockwise. First one's through this orchard, then the battlefield. So definitely go clockwise, because I mean the second one's not pretty, but the first one's not amazing either. So this is probably the first bit, which is actually the second bit you have to cross the road. If Poppy, my daughter, was here, she'd love to see this. Well, she'd like to have witnessed Cowgate earlier, but I don't think I would have. This fence is fine for me. Although to be fair, I can outrun a sheep. But I don't know if anyone else knew this. Cows can run at like 40 kilometers an hour. Absolutely mental. There's me trying to shave off any extra pound I can do to get into race weight, and these cows absolutely smashing world record pace. Maybe I'm going the wrong way with it, but anyway, ultimately I think I can outrun a sheep. Be disappointed if I can. I know I put weight on, but geez, not that much. Let's have a look. Come in peace. So I absolutely love living here. Oh, walking. Absolutely love living in this area. You can go from the hustle and the bustle of the town centre. Blimey, what's happened to this sheep? You can see his mate was sheared, but he's not been. Blimey. Anyway, you can go from the hustle and the bustle of the town centre all the way to nothing but sheep and an annoying guy talking people through his runs. But you can see everything from nightlife in the town centre, events in the park, chain ferry boats, to a historic battlefield from 1265. I've mentioned that twice now. That's because I've made the effort to remember it. The one thing that always makes me laugh is right at the beginning we ran under a thing called the Simon de Montfort Bridge, and back in 1265, that's the 3rd time I've mentioned it, he was viciously slayed because the way Evesham is, it's kind of on an island, and he got caught on the island. They boxed him in. So a bridge would have been absolutely bloody ideal back then. So what do they go and do? Name a bridge after him, the exact bridge he would have bloody needed. Right, last bit of the battlefield run up this hill. It's such a painful hill because it's a long, slowly gradual one. It's about 200 metres long. And every time I do it, I find myself slowing down again and again. I mean, we're not even halfway. We are at the top of the battlefield. There's a little sign here that I quite like. Talks you through the history. Here we go. 1265, Simon de Montfort. And here we go. This is where the bridge is. And he got boxed in here. So this is all river. And he got boxed in. So what do you do? Go and build a bridge exactly where they needed it. Anyway, the reason I pointed the camera down a second ago wasn't for some cool artistic shot, which is someone that was running past looked like an ex-girlfriend. But I don't know why I pointed the camera down. I think she couldn't have cared less about the camera, but wouldn't have wanted to see me. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to see her. But I mean, if you ever bump into your ex-girlfriend, always make sure you're wearing a Nike Cody Hudson special edition polka dot running shoes. Now, as I said earlier, now I'm glad I'm not wearing the hat and the shoes, because I would have looked like a right nut. Right, run's done. I have no idea about time, pace, elevation. I'll put that on the screen. But I've just come to this little bit here, just firstly to show you this incredible view. I mean, you can see Offanem, there'll be Stratford over the other end of the hill. You've got the whole of Evesham, you've got Broadway Tower. I ran up there a couple of days ago. I'm going to go and do another vlog from there. I can see the cows down there. Funny how I can see them from all the way up here, but I couldn't see them from down there. But anyway, I thought I'd just come in and just explain kind of what the point of these videos are. So this is my first vlog, or at least the first one that's going to make it onto YouTube. I'm not really, the goal of this isn't to become like a YouTuber. It's that when I was younger, I used to have loads of videos of my childhood, holidays, days out, that sort of thing, and they're really good and they're awesome, and I'll enjoy watching them back. And I really want Poppy and any other child that Kim and I have just to have those memories. There's also the side of it that I like to record my running journey. I did Liverpool Marathon last year, it didn't go very well. I was aiming for sub 4 hours, I got 4:25. Got a bit teary when I saw the 4 hour pacer going past. I was looking at their legs and I was going, why can't mine do that? But it's things like that that I'd really like to have captured. So I thought, let's get a GoPro. We've got the software, got the hardware, let's do some videos. If anyone watches them, great. And if you're watching this now, I love you, fair play to you. I have no idea about any of the times, so I'm going to put them up in the corner. I'm going to try and do this thing. I have no idea where the camera's pointing, but I'm going to try and do this thing where I'm going to go, oh, here's the pace, here's the time, and oh, here's the elevation. Didn't know about that. I don't know. It might work, it might not. I'll see if I can do it in the edit. I might not even be able to, think of that. But anyway, I'm going to head home now and crack open a, I was about to say crack open a beer. No, I'm not going to crack open a Pepsi. Who am I kidding? And I'm going to sit for the next couple of hours and edit this video, and hopefully sees the light of day. Again, if you've watched, thank you. If you, I was about to say if you haven't, but if you haven't, then you don't know what you're missing. But yeah, see you next time.